I call it creating value beyond the policy. So you have the policy, right? But in order to make the policy work well, like for workers' comp, you need significant risk management, which means you need significant communication so that everybody's on the same page around what happens when water spills on a slippery floor. What do we do? What's the protocol for that? What happens? How do we prevent someone's arm from getting stuck into a chipper kind of thing? And I think that's part of what's missing is like these touch points that could bubble to the surface, but we just, insurance organizations just ignore them.
I think you hit on something interesting, Nick, that's worth pointing out. And I think it's important to pay credit to the commercial lines carriers, because as you were making that comment, I just started thinking about those dynamics. And you're exactly right. I think work comp is one of those spaces where there's even ancillary services vis-a-vis loss control that are offered by carriers in addition to the policy that are even separate from the insurance policy itself. They impact the policy. But so I think that's interesting. And then I think back, I have my own small business coverage for my firm, and I get pretty frequent communication from them outside of the policy contract that have to do with things that I should be thinking about as a small business owner. Part of my small business coverage includes a pretty significant cyber liability coverage because I'm in the technology space. And I think every time there is a massive attack that is circulating, I get an email about that. And I want to highlight that because I think you're exactly right that there's a lesson to be learned by the personal lines care from the personal lines side of the house, because interestingly enough, they're the ones, the personal lines customers, I would argue, are probably going to be less likely to be insurance professionals or risk management professionals, and they need it more. And we are seeing some bright spots in the commercial line space that's worth taking note of.